Welcome to the Deep Dive, your essential shortcut to understanding today's most compelling developments. Today, we're launching into the incredible world of space exploration. I mean, the pace of innovation right now is it's truly astonishing. And it's really no longer just, the established few making headlines anymore. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is how rapidly the space frontier is evolving. It's becoming a really multipolar landscape. So our mission for this deep dive is basically to guide you through a fascinating collection of sources we found, mainly a bustling Reddit thread just brimming with recent space news and, well, lots of discussion. We're going to try and uncover some surprising collaborations, highlight these ambitious new players, and explore, what it all means for our future beyond Earth. And right at the heart of this shift, you really see the remarkable rise of India as a global space power. Their advancements are genuinely reshaping international cooperation.
And that's such a powerful focal point because, right out of the gate, one of the biggest pieces of news involves NISAR. That's the NASA-Aero Synthetic Aperture Radar. This is a truly next-level U.S.-India collaboration, isn't it?
It absolutely is, yeah. NISAR is probably a prime example of this deepening partnership. It's a joint U.S.-India satellite, and it's reportedly set to launch pretty soon, July 30th, from India. What makes it so powerful is its advanced radar technology. This isn't just any satellite. It uses something called synthetic aperture radar, or SAR. Basically, it lets it create incredibly high-resolution images of Earth's surface, even, through clouds and darkness. It's expected to provide just unprecedented data for critical areas like climate monitoring, disaster response, that sort of thing.
Wow. So it's not just about seeing. It's about seeing through things, essentially, and getting data no matter the conditions. That sounds like a total game changer for Earth observation. And, while this U.S.-India collaboration might still surprise some people, our sources are indicating these two nations have actually been working together for a while now, even on the International Space Station. It really signals a more mature strategic partnership, I think.
Indeed, it does. It highlights a deepening trust and, shared scientific goals. But while collaboration is a really significant theme here, we're also seeing India making these incredible strides completely independently. Their solo ascent is perhaps even more telling, of their ambition and growing self-sufficiency in space.
That's a crucial observation.
Yeah.
One major milestone that really jumped out from our sources was India's successful execution of its first space docking mission. It's called SpaceX, the Space Docking Experiment. This was achieved with ISRO's PSLV-C-60, which is their reliable workhorse rocket, the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. And this makes India only the fourth country in the world to achieve this incredibly complex feat. So what makes space docking so technically challenging? And how does this position India now?
Well, space docking is extraordinarily difficult. Basically, you've got two spacecraft traveling at literally thousands of miles per hour, and they have to precisely rendezvous and then physically connect while they're in orbit. It demands just unparalleled precision. We're talking navigation, control systems, robotics. It's all got to be perfect. So India's success with SpaceX doesn't just prove their engineering prowess and their autonomy, it also positions them as a highly capable partner for really complex orbital operations, which, could potentially make them a more attractive collaborator for nations looking for maybe cost-effective or independent space access down the line.
Right, that really puts their capability into perspective. And it ties directly into their ambitions for human spaceflight, doesn't it? With the Gaganyaan program. They're aiming to send their first astronaut to space in over 40 years, potentially even to the International Space Station. We're seeing mentions of Shubhanshu Shukla as the likely first Indian to reach orbit in, more than 4 decades. And astonishingly, our sources note that India has already celebrated sending its first astronaut into space after 41 years. Yeah. And they've doubled the budget for Gaganyaan. That's just a massive commitment.
It truly is. Doubling the budget, that signals a deep, long-term national commitment to human spaceflight. It's not just a one-off. And this raises an important question. What exactly are India's long-term goals beyond just, getting an astronaut into orbit? The sources we looked at outline a truly ambitious roadmap for the coming decades.
Oh, yeah, and it's quite the list. India has approved 4 major new space programs. Just think about this. Plans for an Indian space station, a lunar sample return mission, a Venus orbiter mission, and a reusable 30-ton to low Earth orbit, or LEO, next-gen launch vehicle rocket. That's a big one. Plus, they have these lunar dreams for 2030 with their Chandrayaan missions continuing, and a specific long-term goal build a moon-orbiting space station by 2040. That's an astonishing vision.
It really is. And their collaborative spirit extends beyond just the U.S. They're apparently gearing up for a joint Chandrayaan-5 mission with Japan, which is, a testament to these growing partnerships across Asia as well. And beyond the traditional space stuff, India is also set to begin construction of a gravitational wave project on the ground. It's designed to detect these tiny ripples in space-time from huge cosmic events like black hole mergers. It just showcases a really broad national commitment to advanced scientific discovery, not only space tech itself.
Yeah, but while India's trajectory is clearly, shooting upwards, it's important to remember that space is still an incredibly challenging frontier. It's hard. Our sources also mentioned that the Indian Space Agency recently faced a setback. A mission to launch a new Earth observation satellite failed, which just underscores the inherent difficulties and, the risks involved in this field.
It does, absolutely. But even with occasional setbacks, the overall direction is, I think, unmistakable. India is a formidable and increasingly central player in space. And if we connect this back to the broader global picture, India is certainly not alone in its emerging space ambitions.
That's a great point. This deep dive clearly shows us that the space arena is truly opening up. It's way beyond the traditional powerhouses now. For example, African nations are rapidly embracing space technology. They're racing to put satellites in space. And the African Space Agency is now operational. And this isn't just about, prestige. It's driven by a real need for local data, better connectivity, resource management. It really signals how vital space tech has become for development, especially in emerging economies.
Right. And beyond just new national players, we're seeing all sorts of diverse collaborations and new ventures popping up across the globe. We learned, for instance, that a Pakistani astronaut is likely to become the first international visitor to China's space station, which kind of highlights Beijing's expanding partnerships in space. We also see the U.S. looking to launch more satellites from New Zealand, which leverages, new geopolitical alignments and maybe some operational advantages down there.
And it's not just nations, right? Commercial space is definitely hitting its stride now. Europe is finally getting serious about commercial rockets. It signals a push for maybe greater independence from foreign launch services. And there's this Texas startup, as our sources put it, that keeps launching obnoxiously large satellites, just pushing the boundaries of what's possible with private funding and super rapid innovation. The landscape is truly diversifying. However, with all this expansion and increased activity come new challenges. And some strategic concerns, too. There's significant discussion in our sources about sort of unpacking China's increasingly global military satellite communications. It raises questions about data security, strategic advantage, that kind of thing. Furthermore, the U.S. Space Force boss has explicitly stated that putting missile interceptors in space is considered critical to defense. That highlights a very clear militarization aspect of this new space race. Yeah, and on the flip side of that, there are concerns that U.S. budget cuts could potentially jeopardize America's longstanding dominance in space scientific advances. It raises questions about, who will lead the charge in future breakthroughs if the funding starts to wane. It paints a picture of a really complex and highly competitive environment developing up there.
It certainly does. Oh, and for a bit of historical curiosity, just a quick aside, we even saw a mention of the world's oldest satellite, still up there. It's been in space for 67 years. And apparently, engineers are expressing a desire to maybe try and bring it home someday. It's just a striking reminder of how far we've come and the legacy we're building,
Wow, 67 years. What an incredible journey through our sources today. So if we kind of synthesize all of this, what it clearly tells us is that space is no longer this exclusive domain of just a few major powers. Not anymore. It's a rapidly expanding, collaborative, and yes, definitely a competitive frontier. And India's significant rise with its ambitious plans and these strategic partnerships is undeniably a central theme in this new space age.
Exactly. And for you, the listener, this expanded access, this diverse participation in space, it holds immense potential. It directly benefits our understanding of Earth and, beyond Earth, too. It could potentially lead to new discoveries, technological advancements, maybe even solutions that impact all of us from, climate change monitoring to global communication.
It truly makes you wonder, though, with so many nations, and now private companies, too, actively pursuing their space ambitions, what does this new space age really mean for humanity's shared future among the stars? Will it lead to, greater cooperation or maybe increased competition? And how might that shape our collective journey beyond our home planet? Something to think about.